Now, we hear all sorts of stories, don't we, about children being bullied at school. Stupid things like not wearing the coolest trainers or having the wrong colour hair are often to blame. But for Abby Freeston from Brixworth, it was because she had ADHD. Well, now Abby's doing brilliantly and has got her confidence back thanks to a new programme called Door. Well, she's here along with her mum, Lorna, and brother, Oliver, and they're with me in the studio now. Hello, Abby.
Hi.
And hi, Lorna.
Hi.
Thank you for coming in. So, Abby, tell me about this Door programme that helped you then.
Well, you basically have to go into a testing room at first to see if you've actually got any, like, of the ADD or dyslexia.
Yeah.
Which I had both.
Right.
And I got put on a programme, which I had to do at home. And I had to go into the Door Centre every
6 weeks.
Okay, 6 weeks. Wow. So just scooch a little bit further forward to your microphone for me so we can all hear you a bit better. What sort of things were happening to you at school then? What were other children doing and saying?
They were calling me stupid because I couldn't read or write and I couldn't concentrate at all and I had no confidence at all.
And that must have been really upsetting for you because they're saying all of these things and you have to deal with what they're saying, but at the same time you're trying to battle to keep up with your schoolwork.
Yeah.
So how did you feel when you started this programme then? Did you feel like you kind of had a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, that things were going to get better?
Yeah, I felt like I'd get better and I wouldn't be bullied anymore.
So what can you do now? What type of things can you do now that you couldn't do before?
Main things, read and write. I can concentrate through a lesson, but in some lessons I have to have a little pen and paper which I can doodle on.
Yeah.
Just so I can do something while listening.
And have the bullies gone away now because they can see that you're much better in class?
Well, I wasn't just bullied for that. I was bullied for quite a while after that, and I've had to move school because of the bullies, but it was nothing to do with my dyslexia and my ADD.
Things are good now, though, are they?
Yeah.
That's brilliant news. Lorna, it must be heartbreaking to see your little girl come home.
Yeah.
Suffering from bullying. I guess you just felt you had to do something about it, did you?
Yeah, well, and Abby did the programme when she was 7, so she was one of the youngest at the time to do the programme, but she didn't realise she was different until she went to school.
Right.
So the first year was a bit of a shock, I think.
Yeah.
And then we started researching into, why she was finding it so difficult. And then I found the Door programme, so
tell us about how the Door programme works then. What does it do with children?
The theory is that it retrains the cerebellum, the sort of the back part of the brain, and helps the neuronetworking side of it to actually learn different pathways. So through exercise, you're retraining the brain to learn.
Yeah.
And they do exercise morning and evening every day.
Yeah.
Using eye exercise, balance, and memory. And the idea is that you retrain the brain in different ways to learn. And
there's obviously been a change in Abby's schoolwork and in the way she's viewed at school, but there's been a change to her personality generally, hasn't there?
Oh, generally. She was very, very withdrawn and very quiet beforehand. And within the first 6 weeks, we managed to see a massive change in her. She would look at you, she would chat, she just became a different person.
I guess the standard thing that happens for so many youngsters with ADHD is that they're given drugs like Ritalin. That's what you hear about a lot. So have you taken a completely holistic approach then?
We didn't want to do anything like that at all. We felt she was very, very young at the time. And I think, my personal view is we tried the sort of, if you like, the natural way of doing things first, and felt it was always there if it didn't help her as much as we hoped it would.
And you want to get the message through to other parents that if they have a child with ADHD or severe dyslexia, there is another approach.
There is, definitely, and it's you have to be committed. You have to understand that you are doing the exercises twice a day. Even, she only had 2 days off a year, and that was Christmas and her birthday while she did it. And
what are the exercises?
They're very simple. usually last about 10 minutes, and it's things like throwing a beanbag from one hand to another while you're standing on one leg.
Right.
She had to follow the beanbag when it was being thrown from one hand to the other with her eyes. You had to sit on a ball and do balance exercises and things like that.
Abby's now not just coping at school, is she?
No.
She's excelling in academic and extracurricular activities. She's doing very well, isn't she?
She is. Yes, it's given her the focus. I think the biggest thing for Abby was that she found it so hard to focus and concentrate on any one thing, and now she's excelling in her subjects.
Just briefly, how'd you get onto it? I mean, are you referred by the NHS? Do you have to pay for it privately? Is it expensive?
It's not cheap. It is a private thing. GPs don't tend to know about it. I found out through the internet.
Right.
So all the information is there for
should
you.
Should it be available on the NHS, do you think?
Absolutely. I think it should be available through the schools as well.
Right.
So.
Abby, best of luck. What are you doing with your half-term then? You're off this week, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Doing anything nice?
My birthday.
It's your birthday, is it? And how old are you?
13.
Well, have a fantastic 13th birthday. Do you know what you're getting for a present? No, it's a surprise, is it? Well, have a great birthday. Thank you for coming in to have a chat.
Okay,
and thanks
you,
a lot. Lorna, too. If you want to find out more about that door programme, I'll put a link to it on our Facebook site. Check it out after the show.
On 104.2, 103.6 FM and online, this is Today's Northamptonshire.
BBC Radio Northampton.
Andrew Bomford's report, I should warn you, contains feel-good TV nostalgia.
It's not that easy these days to find an old-fashioned rag and bone man. I heard a rumour that there was one in Hartlepool, but I couldn't get hold of him. There might be one or two in the Midlands. I was on the trail of one in the northwest, but found out that he'd just been sent to prison. So I called the Gypsy Council. Could they help? Yes, they could. Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Not very nice, is it?
I haven't brought the weather with me. Meet Caleb Hughes.
How are you?
And his son Lee.
My name's Lee Hughes.
And his son Callum.
My name's Callum Lee Hughes.
So that's Hughes and son. And son. How old are you, Callum?
7.
But you've got to start young. I say we was all brought up to start young. What do you call out to the people when you're going down the road?
Rag and bone.
Go and shout it for the man.
Rag and bone!
I've got 28 grandkids, 2 great-grandkids.
And Caleb, he's 69, going on 70. And they all live in Corfe near Poole in Dorset.
And he's the only one of all the family that likes this kind of life. He's brilliant for his age. I think he's going to be the one.
Well, that day we didn't get out with the horse and cart because of the rain, but the following week we did.
Beautiful, isn't it? There's nothing better. This is my life. I can see over the edges, see all the green fields, minding my own business. But we enjoy this sort of life. This is our life. Yeah, I say 90% of old people that see us, it brings a smile on their face. It really does. And you will get more than what you will on a transit van. Because they know you're genuine. They know you're not into it to earn thousands. If I can afford a loaf of bread and a tub of butter and a piece of cheese at the end of the day, I'm happy. On enough for a pint of beer.
Rag and bone! Any old rags, any old iron!
Well, it's not been the most lucrative day so far, but I'm just following Lee up one driveway because he's spotted a big sack with a note attached to it.
The rag and bone man. Thank you. Please call again.
So they've left a sack of something?
Yeah, that'd be all different metal in there, I bet. Saves me going to the tip, look. Bit of alley, bit of copper, look. Bit of copper wire. Bit of iron in the bottom.
Brilliant.
See what I mean? Look on. All right. Got any old iron you don't want? A few old rags or something? Come round in front of him, babe, and stroke his nose. He's all right.
What's his name?
Boise. See, this is the sort of reception you like, look. These people don't mind it. Right, I want to love you and leave you, you lovely people. I'll see you in a bit.
But however much people seem to like it, you can't make a living from this sort of thing anymore.
Rag and bone, rag and bone.
Lee's main business is breaking horses, and they've got a fancy carriage they rent out for weddings. All this is really about keeping up traditions.
But it's not. It's finished with, actually. I reckon it's finished with. You know.
Is that because you're in competition with these guys with trucks?
It is terrible. There's too many at it. Up in Hull in Nottinghamshire, you cannot move on a Saturday morning. And round here it's getting the same. But some of them are ignorant. They're not nice people, you know what I mean?
And just try looking on YouTube if you want to see the sort of cacophony they make in some places early on a Saturday or Sunday morning.
This waste.
License?
Are you aware you need a license to carry waste?
No. For what?
Okay. You have to be.
Well, I've come out today with teams from East Staffordshire and Lichfield councils, as well as the police and other agencies, who are cracking down on scrap metal collectors, checking to see if they're licensed or not, as well as looking for a range of other offences.
You're not aware of that?
No.
We're just pulling in, obviously, all vehicles today that are potentially carrying scrap metal or any waste. We're just checking road fuel, obviously.
Claire Meakin from East Staffs Council says the rise in metal prices has brought a lot of dodgy characters out on the shout.
It's really increased over the past probably 2 years. From when I first started, you hardly heard anything about it, and then the last couple of years it's really obviously skyrocketed, and we do these probably 2, 3, 4 times a year.
Has it become a bit of a nuisance for people, would you say?
Every Sunday we get one coming around our estate, and then half hour later there'd be somebody else, and then half hour later there would be somebody else, so it does become a particular nuisance for people, especially at the weekend.
And this scrap collector agrees, but says they are performing a service.
I think 70% of the people I actually see myself appreciate what we do. The street where I live, to get 8 people shouting scrap metal all the time, and obviously people do get fed up with it. And them are the people that you got to watch. I don't think a lot of them aren't legit on the road. And to tell the truth, I like to see them off the road as much as anyone else.
You dirty old man! What are you doing?
Did you watch it yourself?
Yeah, I still watches it now. Yeah,
what do you think of it?
Loves it, because that reminds me, believe it or not, a bit like me and him. We'll have an argument on the cart. What are you doing up here? You ain't got to come here.
Well, this is the way I come.
Well, you should have done. You know, I went down through there.
Yeah.
You were divvy.
I got halfway and got stuck.
Well, I should think you did. It's only an hour.
Caleb, Lee and Callum are keeping the traditions going. But there's not many of them left. Perhaps they should be treasured.
Well, I'm a Romany rhyme. I'm a true diddy kind. I lives in a bender beneath this blue sky. I don't pester no rent, 'cause I lives in a tent. That's why they call me the Romany rhyme.
Andrew Bomford reporting, not singing, although Sean tells me that's totting, Sean Lay.
I think. Maybe I've got that wrong. Listeners will know.
Totting.
Another word for rag and bone, isn't it?
Oh.